Goodness gracious, that was quite the roller coaster ride. So, okay, you guys, welcome to another Real James Live. Now, if this is your absolute first time tuning in tonight because there was a previous live stream that unfortunately failed because Wi Fi. Curse you, Wi Fi. We're celebrating May the 4th. It's Star Wars Day today, and we're just so, at least I'm just so excited to talk to you guys all about the greatest movie franchise in the world, Star Wars. It's not only a movement, it's a phenomenon, and I love it. Subscriber count will go up as we get subscribers in, so I'm really excited. Let me know you're here in the chat, and I'm ready to just talk all about my Star Wars memories and my favorite movies, and we'll rank them, and I'll show you guys some cool memorabilia, so it's gonna be a fun night, and I really, really hope that the internet stays stable. Now let me go in the chat and see what's up. Liam, thanks for coming back to the live stream, buddy, because I know it was difficult getting up off the ground, but hello to you again, my friend. And you do like Star Trek more than Star Wars? Huh. I know like another person in my life, a very important man who loves Star Trek much more than Star Wars. But you know what's funny? That man bought me this shirt. So you know what? He likes Star Wars even a little bit just to go and buy it off the rack. So so it's wonderful. But yeah, no, Star Wars is more than okay, Liam. Okay, it is a great franchise, and I'll tell you why. So when I was a very young boy, and yes, we're getting into my Star Wars memories right away. I was 6 years old, and I was introduced to Star Wars Episode One. Not only was it crazy in terms of the advertisement, I mean, there were these little commemorative soda cans, they're like Sprite and Coca-Cola with Jar Jar Binks and Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Maul, and it was fantastic stuff. I loved it. I was a crazy addict in just collecting them. So let me tell you guys, I had this really cool moment where I walked out of the theater for episode one and I wanted to see episode two so badly. And I'm not going to lie, yes, the prequel trilogy was my introduction to the Star Wars universe, really. And episode two at the time was like peak Star Wars for me, and now it is literally at the bottom of the list. So even though I got introduced to episodes 1, 2, and 3 before I got introduced to episodes 4, 5, and 6, I still was able to go home after finishing the prequel trilogy and had this waiting for me. Don't know if you guys know what this is, but this is the special edition VHS collection of episode 4, 5, and 6. Now, I loved putting into the VCR episodes 4 and 5 and just rewinding them all the time and watching them again and again. I just didn't care too much for Return of the Jedi as a kid, and I still don't kind of care too much for it. And maybe that's because it's a little too campy and not necessarily as heavy hitting as 4 and 5. But trust me, you guys, I absolutely was in love with Star Wars as a kid. I had action figures. I don't know, you name it, I probably had it. I didn't have a lunchbox though. I kind of wish I had a lunchbox. That's not fair. So, anyways, the sequel trilogy was actually really cool because I enjoy it more than most people, to be honest. And when The Force Awakens was coming around, I was working at Best Buy, and Best Buy had this, I guess, a deal with Star Wars, or just a deal with playing all these new trailers. And trust me, you guys, there were so many moments where I was just standing and on the biggest screen we had in home theater watching Star Wars The Force Awakens trailer number one. It was blowing my mind. You know what trailer I'm talking about, where it opens up and it's almost like a wipe fade open, and then it's Rey with the goggles climbing inside of the old Star Destroyer. Insane sequence of events, and it really is one of the better Star Wars movies. But the movie that follows that film is a masterpiece. So I am curious to know what you guys think when I get to ranking the Skywalker Saga. So let me see who we got in the live stream here. Oh, my cousin, Alicia, how are you? I love you. I miss you and Josh so much. She says I was in love with Star Wars as an elementary kid myself, so much that I was Darth Vader for Halloween. You were not Darth Vader for Halloween. Please tell me you have those photos somewhere because I need to see them. I mean, you could just even put them on Facebook and I'll go and I'll like it, but I will cherish that photo because it is so the image of you being Darth Vader is just so great in my head. That is amazing. Alrighty, so I think it's time to rank the Skywalker Saga. I don't know about you guys, but I got myself a nice list over here. It's 10 movies, of course. I'm not including the Clone Wars film, but I am really excited to talk to you guys about my 10, or my, I guess, top 10 for the Star Wars saga. So I guess we can get into, and thank you for going and digging those up. cousin. I love you. Oh man. Okay. So the worst Star Wars movie. Now, again, I already talked in depth about all 10 Star Wars movies. I did that for the channel, actually. It's called Star Wars Rewind. The playlist is live on the channel, so you can go and see me dive a little bit deeper into each and every Star Wars film in the Skywalker Saga, leading up to The Rise of Skywalker. Alrighty, so number 10. You guessed it. The absolute worst Star Wars movie. Episode 2. Attack of the Clones. Not only is it just terrible, it's just a big CGI fest, and it is not fun. It doesn't age well at all, and I just don't think the writing is great either. That might be the one movie where I look back and I think if you never made it, it probably would have just been better off, because it doesn't look good at all nowadays. It's also Hayden Christensen written in the worst way possible. All right, number 9. And guys, don't be afraid to drop your favorites in the chat as well. Your top 10 Star Wars movies in the Skywalker Saga. So number 9 is Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Yes, it's not terrible, but like that Darth Maul sequence, I can't believe that they directed and wrote such an amazing fight sequence at the end, and the rest of the film is really just filler. I love Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon, and I really do think that you get Ewan McGregor at his best. I mean, yes, episode 3 is him really hitting his stride, but I love like him just growing to learn how to become a Jedi Master in this one. It's so much fun to watch and unfold. Episode 3 though is my number 8. I mean, it's not that I hate it. I just don't necessarily think it's as good as the other Star Wars movies. I like it, but I don't love it. So I can't tell you I won't ever rewatch it, but I'm not rewatching episode 2 ever again. So episode 3 and maybe episode 1 are the only 2 that I can tell you that I'll rewatch of the prequel trilogy. Before I move on to number 7, let's go ahead and take a look at the chat. Oh, I got my uncle in here. What's up, Uncle Joey? He says I was Obi-Wan Kenobi with Leisha. Oh my goodness. You guys, if you can dig up these photos, please send them my way. I would love to see these pictures. Caleb says, I remember watching the pre-special edition VHS tapes of the original trilogy as a kid. My grandparents have a VHS recording of me jumping up whenever Vader is on screen and yelling, Uber is here. Wait, Uber? Wait, like the driving service Uber? That's amazing. I love that. And that's what's so special about Star Wars, is that you can definitely go back and pick up moments of your life in your childhood where you were basically surrounded by Star Wars. I mean, that was me too. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was a Jedi Master. I probably can find that photo somewhere. Do I want to and show it to you? Probably not. But it is a photo that I still love because, I had the little ponytail in the back. Yeah, I bought it from Party City. What's it to you? Liam says, I was Darth Vader for Halloween as a kid too. I still am a kid, but I mean a little kid. Yeah, no, it's okay. I got you. For many years, in fact. Yeah, no, I'm telling you, Darth Vader is an icon. One of the scariest villains on screen as a child, and I still loved him. I don't know what it was. So, alrighty, let's go ahead and recap where we were at with my Skywalker Saga ranking. Number 10, Episode 2. Number 9, Episode 1. Number 8, Episode 3. And at number 7 is a film I came around on. Let me tell you guys, the first 2 times I saw this movie, I was not a fan at all. And then I watched it for a 3rd time, literally in my car, waiting to get into a press screening. Because, sometimes you get to the movies early, but you don't necessarily just want to go and sit and do whatever. So why not watch a Star Wars movie in your car? Not many people do that, I'd imagine. But my number 7 is Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. I love the movie more than I thought I would ever love it. I mean, Gareth Edwards directed most of the film, but Tony Gilroy directed the final, I would say, chunk of the movie because he was the writer on the film, but they had to go back and do extensive reshoots. So let me tell you guys, even though I like the first half better than the second half because it's darker and it really is that gritty Star Wars story I was hoping to get out of Rogue One, I still think the action is top notch. And that Vader scene at the end, you guys, let me know in the chat if you think that was the best Darth Vader scene in Star Wars history, where he's down the hall and it's all dark and all of a sudden his red lightsaber kicks in. And I thought to myself, this boy is terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Liam, I cannot bring out my Obi-Wan Kenobi photo. Or was it? Yeah, it was Obi-Wan Kenobi. I wasn't Qui-Gon for Halloween. Caleb, you said, because I wasn't old enough to comprehend his name, so I just called him Uber after his breathing. Well, you better contact Uber and let them know that they owe you some money. Because, I mean, listen, you kind of you sprouted the idea before Uber was even a thing. Alrighty, so at number 6, right after Rogue One, is Return of the Jedi. I know I just mentioned when I was watching these fantastic films that Return of the Jedi wasn't necessarily my favorite, and it's not, because it's still too campy, and I don't think that, spending all that time with the Ewoks is as cute as I once thought it was. Do I think they're still cute? Yes. Those darn things are still so cute, but I just don't necessarily think Richard Marquand directed the better of the the original trilogy, excuse me. So after Return of the Jedi is at number 5, The Rise of Skywalker. You guys are going to probably have a fit. If you like The Rise of Skywalker, can you let me know in the chat? And if you don't, you can let me know too. Dang it. I pretty much dug my own hole with this one. So I do have a review up on the channel of when I saw The Rise of Skywalker. And let me tell you guys, I still think it's awesome. I still think the movie's fun. It is funny. However, I understand it has flaws, but not enough for me to really discredit the film. I think JJ did a good job at wrapping up the Skywalker Saga with a new cast of heroes and not necessarily making the story about Luke and everybody. It was more so about Rey, about Kylo Ren, and I wish it was more about Finn, but, we're still calling out for some justice for John Boyega. That boy deserved more screen time. Alrighty, so after The Rise of Skywalker is Episode 7, The Force Awakens. I absolutely love how I feel when I watch this movie. Now, I don't think it's, of course, the best Star Wars film, but I think it's one of those movies that kind of took me out of my adulthood and immediately brought me back to my childhood of how I remember myself when I was about to watch Episode 1. I was so excited. There was so much hype surrounding it. So much hype that I have, magazines in actual, cases. All right, y'all, I'm going to show you some stuff. So I went out and, actually, I didn't go out for this one. There's some dust on it. Oh, Lord, there's some dust flying off. This is gross. I haven't hung these up in forever. This is an Empire magazine. It's an expose, basically, an exclusive on Star Wars The Force Awakens, and I bought it on Amazon, and it took forever to get here from the UK. I don't know why. This is a Rolling Stone magazine for The Force Awakens. I was really excited, you guys. And last but not least, the Entertainment Weekly Kylo Ren cover. Yeah, I was really, really pumped for The Force Awakens, and I won't lie to you guys. I went with my girlfriend to numerous stores to go and buy those copies. And listen, she's a champ for sticking with me each and every step of the way. Yeah, maybe I did go a little overboard. Buying 3 magazines that I'm not hanging up on the wall anymore? Yeah, not a good idea. I know. Okay, so after The Force Awakens is now, we're in our top 3, or my top 3, I should say. At number 3, wait for it, A New Hope. I'm so in love with this film. It is one of the best films that George Lucas has ever directed. But not only that, actually, let me tell y'all. Episode 4 is a movie that deserves to be in this top 3 only because it sparked something so new. And I'm actually reading a book currently. It's a George Lucas, it's not an autobiography, but it's basically his story, essentially, of him and the cast and crew making Star Wars. His past before that, his present situation for A New Hope, and then everything after that. And trust me, you guys, I think the technology that he pushed forward with A New Hope, out of this world. So yeah, I'm definitely in love with A New Hope, and it deserves to be in my top 3. My second favorite Star Wars movie. Do I want to talk to you guys about this? Because I'm almost afraid you're going to get mad. Rian Johnson's The Last Jedi. That is my second favorite Star Wars movie, and I still say that it was almost better than Empire Strikes Back. This sounds weird. I know. But The Last Jedi is out of this world in terms of writing, directing. Yes, Snoke wasn't necessarily the big bad guy everyone expected, but this wasn't about Snoke. It was about Rey finding out her past and also being conflicted with battling with Kylo Ren, someone who she was actually attracted to because she wants to save Ben Solo. She doesn't want to save Kylo Ren. So I really love that little balance there. Yes, Finn again doesn't get too much screen time, and I understand that whole casino sequence, not necessarily the best and the, I guess, slimmest sequence. It kind of took a little while. Definitely lasted too long. But Still love it. I still think the movie is absolutely fantastic. It's rewatchable as heck. I've seen the movie 3 times already, and I really want to go and watch it again. That's how good it is. It pushes forward Star Wars in an unimaginable way. And sure, The Rise of Skywalker kind of scales it back a little bit, and JJ does retcon some things, of course. But I still think that Rian Johnson understood what he was doing, and it is criminal what some of these fans or just people who don't like Star Wars were doing to hate on The Last Jedi. And it basically kind of forced Disney and Lucasfilm's hand in a way. They were like, okay, we got to go safe. We can't necessarily go risky anymore with the Star Wars franchise, which kind of hurts. I'm really hoping that Taika Waititi's Star Wars film, whether it be a spin-off or the start of a trilogy, can be risky or just a lot funnier in a way. Okay, now we're getting into the number one Star Wars film of mine in the Skywalker Saga, but before that, I want to hit up the chat because you guys have been dropping some comments, and I want to see what y'all have been talking about. Alrighty. So Caleb, I love that you love Rise of Skywalker, Caleb. That's amazing. You said I loved Rise of Skywalker even more so than The Last Jedi. When it comes to new stuff versus nostalgia, I rate somewhere in the middle. You're not a weirdo who loved Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker because guess what? I'm that weirdo too. I am that weirdo too. Caleb, listen, buddy. You got a friend in me. The old Toy Story song. You got a friend in me. Randy Newman would be proud right now. I didn't try to sing it though, but yes, I'm so glad there are more of us out there that love both The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. It makes me so happy. Liam says he loves A New Hope, and trust me, bro, I'm with you. A New Hope is fantastic. It really is. And yes, Liam, Taika's making a new Star Wars film. So I'm really excited for that movie. I mean, he's great. I mean, Jojo Rabbit, listen, I got the hat here. It's not my favorite film of 2019, but it's still so good. Shout out Allied for that hat. Love ya. Christina, you're great. Okay, so we're going to get into my number one Star Wars movie in the Skywalker Saga. And of course, by process of elimination, you can kind of understand which film is number one. But if you missed it, let's start from 10 to 2. Episode 2 is my least favorite Star Wars movie at number 10. Number 9 is Episode 1. Number 8 is Episode 3. 7 is Rogue One. 6 is Episode... 6. I didn't even think about that when I was ranking them. 5 is Episode 9. Roman numerals confuse me sometimes. Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Number 4 is The Force Awakens. Number 3 is A New Hope. Number 2 is The Last Jedi. And number 1 is, of course, Episode 5. The Empire Strikes Back, okay? It is the best sequel I think that I've ever seen in cinema history. I know The Godfather Part 2 is fantastic, and yes, it's up there with the best movies I've ever seen in my life, but Empire Strikes Back did what I never thought was imaginable from a kid till now, which is be the best film in a franchise while also being technically limited, 1, and 2, not having the full picture. I mean, George Lucas was already probably writing things out in advance, but there were some things in Empire Strikes Back that he had to take a risk on, not knowing if it would pan out in the future. And it's just beautiful to see Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford build that synergy. Peter Mayhew. I actually have something. I have my copy of Return of the Jedi signed by Peter Mayhew. I met him before he unfortunately passed away. Rest in peace. Love Peter Mayhew so much. But yeah, I think Episode 5 is clearly the number one. So if you guys haven't already, in the chat or later, if you're watching this after the live stream, in the comments below, let me know what your top 10 Star Wars movies are. All right, let's get in the chat. Yes, number 5 at number 1. Yes, Uncle Joey, I'm telling you, it is the best Star Wars movie. And Liam, yeah, Jojo Rabbit was great, so I'm really glad you appreciated my hat. Alrighty, well, that's pretty much all I have for the Skywalker Saga. I mean, there's not much more to talk about that hasn't already been spoken of. And like I said, I went through all my Star Wars memories. I'm wearing the shirt today. I got my VHS and my magazines that are in a glass case. But if you guys have any Star Wars memories of your own right now, go ahead and share them. I love to just, continue reading them. But I appreciate you, Liam, Caleb, my cousin Alicia, Uncle Joey. Thanks so much. Jasmine, I know you're watching this. Thank you so much. But yeah, it's so good that you guys stuck with me through those technical difficulties in the beginning. I know it can be rough sometimes, but I'm grateful that we got through it together. All right, guys. Well, I mean, if you have no other memories to share, might as well end with one of my own. because I guess I have to say that my most fondest Star Wars memory. Actually, no, I don't have one. I have multiple. But there is another one that I really love to share for you guys. I do really love how Star Wars kind of changed my perception of sci-fi. It used to be, scary sci-fi, and this was a little bit lighter in tone. And I never knew what space opera was. So yeah, episode 4 was just, that's what started it for me. Prequels were cool, but episode 4 really got me on a bare bones level. Sorry, you guys, about the audio. I hope it wasn't too awful. I know that it happened last time we did the live stream when we celebrated 1,000 subscribers, but hopefully the audio is a little bit better now. Yeah, I know. I see you, Enzo. It does sound a little weird. I think it's just the microphone. I'm probably going to have to buy a new mic soon, or it could just be the internet. You never know. Okay, perfect. All I had to do was unplug it and plug it back in again. Alrighty, you guys. Well, I really appreciate you joining the live stream today. I know this was a little bit shorter than the 1,000 subscribers live stream, but that's only because we had so much to talk about the future of the channel. If you haven't already seen it, we've started Real Rewind, which is me going through all the classics. I love it so much. It is a ton of fun. Raging Bull was great. Sound of Music is next. So I'm really excited for that. You guys have been great. Enzo, Caleb, Uncle Joey, cousin Alicia, Liam, thank you guys so much for coming through on the live stream. And for everyone that's watching this after the live stream, I'm grateful for you too. Don't forget to go ahead and hit the big red button below and subscribe to the channel. You guys are great. I really cannot wait to do another live stream, hopefully with the internet working properly. I'm staring at my router and yelling at it. It's been a long day, guys. A very long day. Alrighty, you guys. Well, that's all the time I got for tonight. I'm going to go and watch more Star Wars The Clone Wars. I'm really excited for that. You guys have an amazing rest of your May the 4th. And I was going to say May the 4th be with you, but that's so corny. Well, too bad. May the 4th be with you guys. Thanks so much, you guys. I'll see you guys at the next screening. Love you guys.